getting drunk now first.
Oh, what?
No
Okay,
lies.
now streaming live on Facebook, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, we are ready to start. Hi, everybody. Welcome back once again, online with the pros, organized by the Band Directors Association. All right, proudly also partner with ABRSM. Today, we have a lot of pro trumpeters here in front of me. They are all my good friends and fantastic group of people. All right, to my, I don't know, I haven't seen my face yet, so I don't know to my which one, but my screen is different. All right, so we start with some maybe, who wants to start first to introduce yourself? Come on, go ahead.
Kenneth.
Kenneth.
Okay. Hi, my name is Kenneth. Before I introduce myself, I'm going to introduce the group to you all. The four of us comprise the members of the TPT ensemble. Don't ask us what the TPT stands for, but yeah, but we are from TPT ensemble, and we get together and play in a quartet quite often. We also host the trumpet studio classes, right? So to begin with, I'll introduce myself very briefly. I've played the trumpet since secondary school, through my secondary school years and my JC years, and I went on to the US to study trumpet in Peabody, in the Peabody Conservatory. In Singapore, since coming back in 2006, I've been playing mostly in musicals and for local and overseas pop groups and pop stars as well. I've done for like Mayday and quite a few groups. Right? Musicals wise, I do most of the shows in MBS and in Esplanade. And I also play principal trumpet with the Singapore Lyric Opera Orchestra and lead trumpet with the Summertime Jazz Band. And I also freelance around. Right? Passing on the ball. Who's next?
I think it's me. Okay, hi everyone. My name is Eric. I've been playing since I've been playing since the age of 10. This year I'm 20, so I've been playing for about 10 years.
Oh,
And
you sure or not?
What?
Nice
I
try.
don't look young, meh? Okay, I've been playing for about 23 years. Okay, so you can guess my age. I perform locally sometimes and also get the honor to go overseas and perform with professional orchestras. And I'm also into education, so I teach in school trumpet sections, and I conduct private lessons as well. And I also direct bands. Okay, I have I conduct local secondary school bands, and last but not least, I think the not so interesting part of me is I'm a father of two.
Hey, that's the most interesting. Please get it right.
Most interesting.
Yeah,
Very.
our government will be very happy for you because you're father of two. Wee, wee, wee.
Woohoo!
When
All
is
right,
the
next.
one coming?
Okay. I'm Ray, and I've been playing the trumpet since secondary school days. Mr. Tan here was my band conductor.
Ooh.
After the band program,
Mind blown.
I went on to NAFA to study, and after that, went overseas to Germany to further pursue my Bachelor of Music. And currently, I'm tutoring trumpet sections at various local school bands and also freelancing with the orchestras here in Singapore. Yeah.
Okay, my turn. Okay. Hi, my name is Wen Rong. I've been playing the trumpet with Eric. Same as Eric for 23 years. Yeah.
So you are 24 years old now, right?
I'm 30 this year. Yeah. So I started when I was primary 1. Yeah. So I'm a trumpet player with the Singapore Symphony Orchestra for the past 4 years. Then I teach at YST and I play a lot of gigs outside lah. Okay.
Fantastic.
Okay. So moving on, we'll cover about breathing, right?
Yeah. I just want to, before you go to breathing, I just want to let everybody know. I mean, today workshop is online with the pros. There's so many people who talk about breathing. So breathing is such a very important thing. But I think that all of you have actually prepared some lessons for us, to talk to us about trumpet breathing is a little bit different from, some of other instruments, which of course some people will argue that, it's a brass instrument. Come on, brass instrument breathing, it should be all the same. So I think that I will leave you all to actually share with us, this break this mystery about, trumpet breathing fundamentals. How does it, differs from others? Please share. Thank you. Sorry, went wrong.
So for breathing, right, we have divided into 3 sections. Fundamental breathing, which I will cover. Then Ray will cover fast breathing, and Kenneth will cover power breathing. So breathing is one of the most important aspects of trumpet playing. Okay, you have to take a deep, relaxed breath, and you release it without much tension. So in order to do that, right, I want you all to try. Can we all sigh? How
We've
does
done
it
that
feel?
before.
How does it feel? Feel good,
So
right?
very
It feels
good,
like
man.
something I do every day. Leh.
Yeah, very sure, right? But trumpet playing, you cannot only sigh. Your air need to be active. So can you all add the air behind? So sigh. Does it feel good? Yep. Then with the articulation, I want you all to say two. T-O-O. Okay? Small T and big O. Okay? Instead of two, I want you all. So can we do this exercise together? When you all breathe in, right? Can you all deep breath, but not high pitch, not okay, but okay. Then when you all exhale, take a piece of paper with your hand. And just imagine you are sighing out. Okay. If you don't have paper, just imagine there's a candle in front of you, your birthday cake. Don't extinguish the flame. Just let it flicker. Okay. Instead of okay. Yes. Okay. Can we try 4 in, 4 out together? So breathe in
Okay.
at a time, low voice O. Then exhale with a 2. Sighing. Yeah. Can we try? 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. Here. And keep the paper up. Yes. Okay. So basically, there are 3 exercises that I always use, like 4 counts in, 4 counts out, do 2 times. 4 counts in, 6 counts out, 4 counts in, 8 counts out. Both all do 2 times. Okay. Always keep the air relaxed out. Okay. For trumpet player, we don't need super much air. Okay. You look at our tube. You don't need like a tuba player, a lot of air. But what we need is more compressed, focused airstream. Okay. Trumpet and cornet is very different. Cornet, you need a warm air, mellow, slower, broader airstream. But trumpet, you need a more direct airstream. But that doesn't mean you need to push it. Okay. So we will move on to Ray for fast breathing exercises.
Okay, Mr. Tan, do you have the extract that?
Yes.
Can you share that on the screen?
Okay, I'm going to do that now straight away.
Yeah. So basically, this fast breathing exercise that I'm going to introduce cater more to what we actually need in music, which is to blow out for a longer time and the ability to breathe in a short amount of time. So some things to actually look out for, as was mentioned by Wenrong just now, to have a relaxed feeling like yawning while breathing in, or using the syllabus O. Also, the feeling of sighing while exhaling, so you get this comfortable feeling. Yeah. So the screen up already.
Up already.
Up already.
Up already.
So, as you can see from the extract here, this fast breathing exercise is split into different rhythms. That makes this exercise progressive. So it slowly shortens the amount of time for breathing from quartet to quavers, triplets, and semi-quavers. So I got this exercise from a Danish guy, a trumpet player called Christian Steenstrup, who is someone with like a breathing guru. He learned from Arnold Jacobs, all this breathing stuff. So basically, we will start off with a very simple quartet rhythm. Here we have a 5/4 bar, and we exhale and articulate the first 4 quartets and breathing in on the last quartet beat. Let's do it together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Moving on, we change the time signature to 4/4. We articulate and exhale for the first 7 quavers. Then we breathe in on the last quaver rest. So here's how it works. 1, 2, 3, 4. So moving on, we have triplets and semi-quavers, which you can try this at home. Yeah, basically, like what I said, this helps to train the ability to breathe in a short amount of time, which is normally used in music. Then moving on, Kenneth will talk a little bit more about power breathing.
Okay, thank you, Ray. So power breathing is basically just a form of breathing that actually it's more of a blowing technique rather than breathing technique. It emphasizes on training the diaphragm muscle to be able to expel air quickly and powerfully. We normally will not use such a huge amount of air when we are playing, but this preps us for more intense playing that to come, right? So for this exercise, again, we need a piece of paper. So we normally hold it about face height. If you can see me from the side, my elbows are locked. It's straight. Don't bend it because that cheats, okay? Face height, paper straight in front of you. And you want to consecutively blow very quickly to keep the paper almost as 90 degrees as possible. Okay, so you just watch me once. This is a very intense exercise. If you do it properly like what I'm doing, arms locked, paper always upwards this way, you're going to feel dizzy in probably a few seconds or so. Okay, like I said, we will never ever in our lifetime have to blow this hard, never. But what we are doing is training our diaphragm to be able to expel. So that when we play, for example, more intensive or higher range notes on the trumpet, our diaphragm can easily support it. Not just support it, but easily support it. Okay? So in order, when we play the trumpet itself, we are never going to go, never going to do this. It's ridiculous. But we will compress the air stream into a smaller but powerful stream like this. So it's very small but very focused. Okay? We are not going to blow as hard as this, but because the diaphragm muscle is strong, it supports it very easily. Right? So this is very easy exercise to talk about, but hard to execute. My teacher used to make me do this. Keep it up there for 2 minutes in a row. You can try it out. It's quite ridiculous, right? So
Kenneth, do you faint after that?
Actually, the first time I almost blacked out.
Oh, right.
Because he told me, if you don't do more than 1 minute, you restart it again. 1 minute there. 1 minute. So if you keep doing it for 1 minute, I almost blacked out. And then I did about 30 seconds, I stopped. And
So,
he said,
so we better put a disclaimer here that if you want to try it, make sure you try if you are trying for the first time, please truly try for 30 seconds, okay? Don't try for 2 minutes, okay? Don't be Mr. Luna and think that you sure can make it.
Yeah. But do it. I mean, do it on your own, at your own pacing. Okay. But like I said, I remind one more time: arms locked, face height. Okay, and try to keep it 90 degrees for as long as you can before you black out. Don't black out while doing it. All right.
Before you
All right. I guess that's all I need to say about this. So, passing on the ball.
All right. So after that, I think that the breathing is so good. We have the power breathing that we just heard from Kenneth, and then we have earlier the fundamental breathing, and then the fast breathing that show with rhythms and all that. Then everybody would we heard so many master classes. Everybody is talking about tone. So then we say that, hey, come on, the trumpet also is a big instrument. Very important instrument. Everybody needs to know how to actually practice long tone. This mystery. Every instrument, they say how to improve your tone, practice long tone. But I think today we're going to get Eric to show us how to practice long tones. Eric, over to you.
Okay, so first of all, let me explain what generally long tones mean to me. Basically, long tone, I think, is the simplest and easiest way for your body and in this case our lips okay, is to remember and to form a good habit. So when we are playing a long note, we don't just play like and then hold for 8 seconds, and I did my long tones and I think I did very well. So
Eric, that sound really nice, Eric.
Nice, right? I'm sure even better ones. So the thing about this is when we are holding any kind of note, because we don't hold a few notes we don't play a very short note. We basically play any note that is about at least about 8 seconds, 4 to 8 seconds long, and the crux of the whole thing is really to listen to the sound quality when you play. Now I'm going to share a quick screen here to just give me a minute. Share screen. Just a few. Okay, can you all see now?
Yes.
Right, okay, very good. So this is a very simple and easy long tones exercise based on your chromatics. Okay, so when you're doing this well enough, okay, which I'll demonstrate, what you will get out of it is you actually your body, which is your ears and your inner oral mind, will actually be able to remember the good habits that you're doing while you are expelling your air, and the lips will remember the way it should vibrate at a very optimal sort of like a frequency, so you can hear a better sound. Anyway, so I'm going to use this example. Okay, I set my metronome to about crotchet equals 60. Okay, beats per minute. If you don't have a metronome, you just use your second watch lah. That will work fine. And when I play each note, okay, 4 counts in, you can see from the top one. 4 counts in, and when I go down to the next chromatic note, I don't waver. So I don't go. Right, I don't move around physically. I don't move around in my tone as well. So encompassing what the three of them have done just now. Okay, first of all is to get a good nice breath. 3. Rest. 2, 3. And you can see what I'm doing here is really to keep everything straight and simple. Okay, I don't decay. Okay, there's no diminuendo. That means getting softer at any point in time. And of course, I don't play too loud. I try to keep it at a sort of like a mezzo forte-ish volume. And the point here is to really keep the sound open. Okay, on the app, I mean on this platform, you may not be able to hear the sound very clearly. So it's really important to hear what kind of sound that you're giving. Not this kind of like, I believe you can hear the difference. Not like. Kind of sound. You want to keep it. Remember the breathing exercise they did just now? Okay? So it's all very conceptual. What they did for the breathing, you apply it onto the trumpet. Of course, not so much air as what Kenneth has said, because for lack of a better word, our hole is so small. The trumpet mouthpiece, the hole is very small, right? So you cannot get too much air across. Okay, so what you want to do is to feel as though there's no obstruction, and keep the sound open and easy. Okay, so after we finish the long tone exercise, and these are just a few examples. I've listed out 4. Okay, you can keep going down all the way to low C. After you finish the low C, you can you let your lips rest for a while. Go back up to the tuning C for the third space C. Okay, and then you do the same exercise downwards. Okay, so after that, I think one of the next very important exercise for our airflow, other than long tones, is what I listed here as well: lip bending exercise. Now, how do I bend my lips? I don't do it physically. Okay, I do it orally. So when I play a note, I can see there in my second exercise in bar 17. That I play a G note, okay, a written G, and then I'm playing on B flat trumpet, by the way. So for those who feel a perfect pitch, good luck to you. I play a G, F sharp, and I go back to a G, and you see there's a cross with an X there, and then there's a line going down. So when that happens, I basically hold my fingering as a G, I bend my lips, make it flat down to the F sharp that I've previously played. So this is an example. Two, three, four. Now, when I bend the note down, I basically allow my lips to relax a little bit more, allow more air to pass through, but the important thing is sustain air. sustain air. Okay, what happens when people don't sustain enough air is this is what will happen. Okay, you just bend down, but you don't support your air. The note will just drop. It's like a plane that's flying, right? Okay, when the plane is flying straight, there's a lot of air power from the generators, right? From the engines. Otherwise, you don't just go down. When the plane goes down, it goes down this way. The nose is always up. Okay, I don't know if you can see over here. The nose is always up. You don't just boom this way, gone already. You don't want to be in that plane, right? So really, the point is to sustain your air, which you cannot really see, okay, but you can hear it from the way you bend the notes. And it gets progressively harder when you start to go up the harmonics. Right? So these are very simple exercises, and then you can of course go chromatically downwards again, and we play the B to the B flat, and the idea is to really play the note as it is, to hear the pitch first, okay, and then you bend down to what you heard just now, so you can make it very very as true as you possibly can in terms of intonation. All right.
Fantastic. On the same note, so Eric,
Yes.
on the same note, someone actually asked, when you practice this exercise, do you want to use a tuner? That's important, right?
I think it's good to tune the very first note, and the rest is relative. Because, like for example, when we play in bands or orchestra, they tune the A note, for example. Doesn't mean that your whole instrument is going to be in tune. It's very much relative. So if you want to get a pitch, yes, you can tune the first note that you play. Okay, just to check on that. But chromatically downwards, you should be able to catch orally what it sounds like to go down.
Okay, we got it. Really.
Yeah, something to add. When you do the note bending that time, right? Try to, like when you bend down that time, right? Yeah, Eric says support. Try to think of a bit of crescendo and try to hear more notes in between. Imagine you are playing a trombone like greasing, hear more notes in between. And just now for breathing, I forgot to say that when you breathe, right, a lot of band instructor a lot of people say don't like raise your chest or whatever. Okay, but I believe like when you breathe that time, right, you shouldn't like stop below here. You should breathe all the way up. Like when you sigh that time, you don't. When you breathe down here only, right, you are closing your throat when you exhale. So it creates a lot of tension. That's why some of the sound become very tight, because you only stop here, support here. Okay, without just let it out. Okay, let's move on. Sorry.
Fantastic. No. It's good. It's good. I think that's a good illustration of what exactly we are talking about. We don't stuck the air right here, and then we think it like a full container there that we are trying to fill air all the way up to the end, right? Am I right to say that?
Yep.
Okay.
And
now
keep the chest up. Don't let it sink. Yeah.
Great. Now next we have Mr. Loon, Kenneth, who's going to illustrate. Hey, just now you heard some bending, right? So you're gonna do some bending. That's what we're gonna do, right?
Slur exercises, I think.
No, now it's Ray.
Sorry. Now it's to Ray. So this is my fault there. Okay, so next one. Now we're gonna go to slurring exercises, not the lip bending yet. So sparing Mr. Loon for a while.
Okay, coming to this topic on slur or lip, what we call lip flexibility, I think one of the things to actually look out for is the consistency of airflow. Avoid nudging the air, or just force the air, but allow the air to just flow naturally. So something to look out for in general is the stomach area here. Avoid tensing, like what Eric said just now. If not, the sound will be too tight. Always allow your air to flow like naturally, and let the air flow becomes flexible. So actually, this is something I learned from one of my teachers. People like to name all these exercises like lip slur, lip flexibilities, but actual fact is more of an air flexibility exercises, where you have to be elastic. They like to use the word elastic, and you get to control the airspeed being used to go up and down the register. So while doing slur exercises, do take extra care about the pitch. So when you're ascending up, avoid playing too sharp. If not, it will sound too tight. Yeah, likewise when you go down, make sure that the pitch is not flat. If not, the sound will be too loose also. Yeah. So something, a solution that I can offer is to always hum the note or sing the note first. Or so by singing or humming the notes, right, basically it helps in two ways. First is to help to develop your inner sense of pitch, which improves your intonation. Secondly, it helps to free the tension around the throat area, which is like how singers sing. When they sing, you don't feel any tension here. Likewise, when I'm talking right now, I don't talk with a constrict air passage. It's just normal. Yeah. So once you are done with, as in once you are able to slur up and down the register easily, you might want to explore a more challenging aspect of lip slur, which is lip trill, and Kenneth will be talking more about it.
Okay. Brendo, you want to flash the...
Sure.
Right. So for lip trills, it's basically an extension of a slurring exercise. It just, as it implies, it's almost like doing a trill on a slur. Instead of using a finger trill, we'll use our lips to trill. Okay, so if from Arban, there's an exercise. Brendo, I think it's the next page, I think.
Yep, I'm trying to do it. Give me a minute.
Yep, sure.
Okay, it's on now.
Is it on?
Yep, going now.
Not this one.
Yes. Is it this one?
Further down somewhere as well.
Yep.
This one.
Yeah, this one. Okay. So as you
Okay.
can see, there is we have a variety of tempos. So you start with what we call the typical slur, which is like crotchets and quavers, and we develop into sextuplets, which may be a bit hard for a start. Now the tempo indicator is 96 to 108. So maybe I'll just demonstrate at 100 for you all. Okay. The idea is to keep it very consistent in tempo. Now for this, since I'm not going to do all of them for you, I'll just do, for example, C and E, a middle one, right? Now, the idea is to keep the notes even and in tempo. And it has to stay in one breath and as even as you can. Of course, if you cannot do it until a sextuplet, you don't have to do it off the bat, okay? Further extensions of lip trills, in a sense, okay, will be to do wider intervals. So we can do like up to a fifth or even up to an octave. Okay? It gets progressively harder. Octave intervals was actually taught, I only learned it recently taught by Thomas Ganch when he came to Singapore for the Nordzil Brass Masterclass. He talked about it. So it is, for example, an octave, a G to G. The same exercise, like this one you have in front of you, you can expand it to, for example, a fifth or even an octave. So for now, I'll do like a G to G one for you. And it's a very wide interval exercise. Okay? That one is more to train on very, very big but fast movements. Now, for practical usage, lip trills normally happen in the higher register. We won't do it like G and stuff. So for my practice, I normally start doing lip trills above our G above the staff. So for example, A flats, A's, B flats, etc. One exercise that I like to do to maintain, also to check whether my lips are responding well, is to try it above the staff, like A flats, A. So maybe I'll just demonstrate one quick one, from C to D, for example, or high C to high D. will be from C to D. And the higher you go, the more intense your airstream is, which is my point earlier about not blowing too hard. If you blow very hard, you will bust the chops apart and you will lose flexibility. So the way to increase your flexibility is actually to pull back your air into a very fast and focused stream and maintain it fast without busting the chops apart. Okay? It may sound intense, it may sound like I'm playing very strong, but actually the amount of air I'm using is basically only, and not like this. You don't see my lips opening up when I'm playing. And of course, I don't know whether you can see my lips up close when I'm demonstrating. When you do a lip trill, I'll show you very briefly, just with a mouthpiece now. When you do a lip trill, you should not see a lot of movement in the lips. Right? There should not be a lot of movement here. You should see basically almost still, and then the pitch changes through very, very small but fast movements in the lips. Okay? All right, so that's all I need to talk about lip trills.
Fantastic. You know, this is exactly the same technique that just now we heard the clarinet players when they're moving up the octaves. You know, they play the low notes and then, you know, they make sure that here is still firm and then go all the way to the high note is still firm. And you just talk about it. So you see that there's a cross path here. And I think that that's really, really good illustration and reminder for everyone.
And one point that's important for all brass players, I feel, okay, is the less movement, the better. If you have a lot of movements in your lips, it is inefficient because your lips are like trying to move around all the time and it looks very retarded also. So basically you keep everything smaller and compact so the movement is minimized so that you can get a lot faster movement with less big jumps in your
Fantastic.
movement and motion. Yeah.
Good. All right. So on the next topic, I think there's always a lot of mystery. You know, as brass players, you know, we always need to see how to articulate. You know, how to tongue, what kind of you know, because the tongue is right inside our mouth. So like just now, the clarinets was trying to show how the tongue. You know, unless we have a CT, you know, a CT scan, then we should be able to see it. But I don't think that any one of us could do that. But I'll leave it to Wen Rong. Wen Rong is going to give you a little, you know, insight about how to, you know, practice articulation. Wen Rong, over to you.
Yeah. So tonguing is more about air than tongue. Okay. So when I tongue that time, right, I'm thinking about 60% air and 40% tongue. So just imagine, right, the air is like a river flowing, the water, okay? Then the tongue is just above like a wave. It's just slightly hit. It doesn't like chop it, okay? So when you tongue at time, you shouldn't like tongue too hard. Can you all try like scissor? Scissor is the best thing. Last time I don't know how to tongue. Then my first trumpet teacher, Mr. Tay, he taught me to scissor. Okay, so scissor is like, okay, but when you scissor at time, right, don't cut it off. No, not. The air still flow. Okay, so after you can scissor it, right, just put it on your trumpet and don't tongue too hard. Keep the air flow. Always think of the air direction to the last note. Instead of playing, I think of. So the air go towards the last note. Always think of your air going to the last note so that there's a direction and your air doesn't. Tonguing is more about air. Even if you do double, triple tongue, everything is about air. So can you show the exercise on the
Sure.
tongue? Yeah. So for single tongue, double tongue, triple tongue, this exercise is the best. Alan Vizudi, Book 1, Technical Studies, page 78 onwards. So
Wait, give me a minute. It's coming on.
yeah.
One.
You want to mention that the things that we talk about, we will probably be sharing them on,
Yeah, we will do that.
right?
Yep.
That
So
the
always think of
audience
the
know.
air going to the last note. Okay, practice with a metronome and make sure your air is flowing through. Okay. Then for double tonguing and triple tonguing, the most important thing, right, is to be able to say it first. Instead of saying tuku tuku, I like to say dugu dugu, dugu 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 do, dugu 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 do. So make sure you can say it like 10 times, 10 sets, saying it out first. Okay. And here is the most important is still the air that flow it through. So the other exercises, okay, for double and triple tongue, right, the most important is the gu, right? Do gu, do gu. The gu is not too far behind. It's not do ku, do gu, do ku. It has to be quite forward. Do gu, 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 do. Do gu, 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 do. And here are all the exercises that will help you lah. Maybe you can turn to the next page. Yeah. So tell you all something. Last time I don't know how to double or triple tongue. I'm only 21 years old. Then start learning triple and double tongue. Last time everything was single tongue. Everything was single tongue. So practice.
That means when your single tongue is very fast.
That's my single tongue. So practice your single tongue. Make sure it's very clear. Then add the double tongue in. Do go 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 do. Still the air has to connect it. Cannot play like. That one is impossible. Your air has to go and don't tongue too hard. Because remember, the bell is blocking the sound. So if you hear your tongue too hard, right, means outside already it's very hard. Okay? Don't hear too clearly. Yeah, something like that. Okay? So practice the island visuality exercises which will be given to you all. Okay. So next we'll move to buzzing by Eric.
Okay.
Before we go on that, sorry, just one person asked a question to Kenneth. They're asking about lip trill on low notes. Do you have any suggestion on lip trill on low notes, because you say that most of the lip trills are on high notes?
Yep. Lip trill on low notes are the same concept. It's just that because it's a lower range note, you're going to have wider intervals. Okay. So my caution about low notes is exactly what Ray mentioned when he was talking about slurring. Don't dip your low notes too far. In other words, don't drop them. This is a typical low note slur. It goes very flat, and that will actually increase your movement between notes. In order to play a fast low note, you got to keep your embouchure again as compact as you can. Minimize the movement of your notes. Yeah, I'm sure most of you will agree with this analogy I'm talking about. Minimize the movement of your notes. So for example, the low C, don't drop so low. Keep it smaller. Okay, that will help with the lip trills. But the fundamentals of it, yeah, Bruno is describing it also.
So compact everything to one straight line instead of C, G, E, C. Instead of like this, right? Compress everything one line.
You see, yeah? If you do that, it's okay. If you do this, it's wrong, because you're opening up the lips. Keep it small, and then you can lip trill faster in the low range. Okay, anyone wants to add on to this point regarding slurring the low notes? No? Okay. Cool.
Fantastic.
So, pass the ball on.
I hope you answered Elijah David, who asked that question. That was really good. And of course, Han Yong suggested, just now about long tones. Should you do it with a drone? That's something that discussed. Should you do it with a drone? Is it good?
Yes, doing drone.
Definitely good.
Yes,
yeah,
agree.
help your intonation.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So at least we are actually talking to the people that's online. They're asking questions, so we must 跟他们互动. We must talk to them, right? Am I right? So next we have Eric. Eric, you're gonna do some buzzing,
Yeah. So there's a reason. Okay. Now this is very important. There's a reason why we put buzzing at the end of our little masterclass here. Because there have been different school of thoughts where people buzz first, then you play, or you play first, then you buzz. Fortunately, in our TPT very closely knitted group, we think that we believe that we should always let the air flow, into the instrument or playing any kinds of long tones exercises before we talk about buzzing. Because when you buzz, technically it's harder to buzz on the mouthpiece than to play on the trumpet. And to back it up, about free buzzing is even harder to free buzz, and then compared to playing on the mouthpiece. So basically, it has more tension, and not saying buzzing is wrong. You can do it, but if you do it right, only if you do it right, So the general rule of thumb is you listen to the sound again. You make sure that it doesn't go like You must make sure that it has a very nice maybe not very clear again over the platform, but I'm just sharing with you, those who are doing free buzzing, don't fall into the trap of having too much tension and the sound on the mouthpiece becomes very tense. Okay, as with regards to all the above points, the main mostly overlooked point is you must let the air flow. You must always let the air flow. And I have, so what kind of exercise do you do? Very simple. The previous slide I showed you about the chromatic downwards, right? So starting on a concert F, which is your G note. So that's the pitch of a G. All right. So you buzz that note, setting the metronome to 60, thereabout roughly. Take a nice breath. And then to cut the story short, so on and so forth. And you do it easily. Actually, you will feel very comfortable on your lips. You should feel very comfortable on your lips. You shouldn't feel like you need to stretch or something like that. That should not happen. And just to really and I won't play too much on the mouthpiece. Maybe just about 2-3 minutes. Just a simple exercise going down and up. And another simple exercise you can do is just basically play slurring through or your favorite tunes like right. For mouthpiece, there's one point I want to add. Is the way you hold your mouthpiece. Now there can be like people advocating for holding it just by the shank, by whichever way you hold. But my point here is, however way you hold, if you add pressure, you will always add pressure. So however you hold, do not add pressure. You want to hold this way also can, but of course not advisable lah. Okay, try to hold by the shank. Okay, but if you have to, because I have a little bit of sweaty palms. If I hold this way, there's a bit of pressure, I will start to move. So I'll hold usually by a little bit more towards the cup of the mouthpiece. All right. The very last point I would like to add is about free buzzing. Now, most good players, this is the point I want to make. Most good players I know can free buzz, but not all people who can free buzz are good players. Okay, so you don't practice free buzzing to play well on the trumpet. All right, I would think that you practice all the above that we mentioned about sound, about slurring, about articulation. Okay, if you extended techniques to go into faster lip trill, all these will help you better than you do. Now that doesn't help me play my trumpet because that's not the way I play my trumpet. Because in order to create a buzz, there must be a form of tension. But when I play, you see, I'm giving air. When I put my mouthpiece over, okay, it's basically air and it creates a vibration. And in the trumpet, it's sort of like a vacuum. Okay, it makes it easier to play on the trumpet. So don't make it too difficult to try to learn how to free buzz. All right, that's all I have. I think we can go to different techniques about buzzing. I think Lorong has something to say.
Yeah.
So instead of buzzing the mouthpiece, which I'm not a very big fan of, but I still do a bit only, just 1 or 2 minutes a day to get the lips moving, I usually do lip pipe buzzing. So lip pipe buzzing, so just pull out your tuning slide, your main tuning slide, and leave it somewhere. So that will be the lip pipe buzzing. When you do lip pipe buzzing, right, don't think of buzzing. Just blow the air in. Okay, don't. Okay, the pitch will come out usually. There's 2 schools of thought lah. I usually like the E flat, concert E flat. Not too tight. Just let it. Do with a piano, so just chromatic down, okay, and make it as smooth as possible. Don't have to play it very loud. So this is to transit from breathing exercise to the instrument, okay. So it's basically like a breathing exercise with a tube. Okay, yeah. So now let's move on to Kenneth.
Actually, on the same on the same point, just now, Eric, when you were actually speaking, and you were talking about the mouthpiece, and we were talking about buzzing on the mouthpiece, and it's very interestingly, you actually blow air, and then a buzz came after that. So
Yep.
and then Wen Rong is also talking about a lead pipe buzzing, and that I believe that applies, and it's really using air to actually buzz, and not about the free buzzing that you're trying to advocate. Am I right to say that?
Yes, definitely. Because again, free buzzing it gets progressively harder when we take out less and less materials when you plug it in. Okay, more material, less material, and no material. It's getting progressively harder, and you actually require your own muscles to work to produce that kind of buzz. So
Fantastic.
that's why we don't advocate so much on.
Okay, so that I think that concludes the entire fundamental part of the trumpet playing. Of course, we know that practicing scales is a very important attribute to. I think that we have heard from so many other master classes that skill practice is the thing to do. And I hope that I believe that all the professionals here, Ray, Kenneth, Wen Rong, Eric, you're going to say the same thing. Am I right to say that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we hear from some people like Yi Hao, who right here straight away he gave career advice. Can you please tell us some career advice? So we're not going to give you a career advice. I know we're not having a career workshop here. I think more importantly, what we want to share with everybody here is the experiences that this wonderful the journey that these wonderful trumpeters went through. I think they're so diverse, and I told them that we need to share the experience with all the trumpeters online right now. So we'll start with Wen Rong. Wen Rong, can you go ahead and share a little of your journey as a trumpeter?
Okay, so when I started learning a trumpet, Star Wars just came out. So I was very, I heard the recording of the London Symphony Orchestra. I was so, wow, I want to learn the trumpet, So lucky my Chinese teacher was the band teacher in charge in my primary school. So I went to join the brass band, and because I'm very small in size, they give me a cornet. Okay, so 1997 was the first time I also listened to the Singapore Symphony Orchestra. And the first time I heard them, they were playing the Benjamin Britten Young Person Guide to the Orchestra. And I was really amazed by the trumpet section then. And even now I'm still amazed with the trumpet section, but I was very
Lucky
happy.
you save yourself. I was going to shoot you, man.
So now we think about it. In 1997, when you saw the Singapore Symphony Orchestra, do you ever dream that you're going to sit there in the symphony?
That was my dream. I always wanted to. That's my dream. I wanted to be there. So it took me about 20 years to get there, and I always wanted to be an orchestra member with the Singapore Symphony Orchestra, and it's a dream come true. I feel very lucky and fortunate. So it was a very long journey to there. Okay, so I joined the youth orchestra first when I was 12 years old, and the youth orchestra is a very good place to like build my orchestra repertoire, and they provide me a trumpet instructor, which was Mr. Tay at that time, and I learned a great deal from him. And after the SYO, I went to YST, and YST is a really great place to build the foundation, the real foundation for the future. And I have a great teacher there, Bill Tice and Mr. John Dante. Yeah. Then I went to Juilliard, US, and it opened my mind because in US, right, there are so many great players over there, and I was like a small fish in a big tank. And there are so many things happening over there. I stay just beside the Met Opera, the New York City Ballet, and the New York Philharmonic. So every week there's like a lot of performances there and of very high quality. So that really pushes me a lot. And I studied with Mr. Mace, who is like a grandfather to me, and he's like a doctor. Every time I go for lesson, he will write down, okay, you need to do this, you need to do that. Like he will prescribe medicine for you. So yeah, it took me 20 years. I used to have a name card of myself, which I wrote 15 years ago, and Lau Wen Rong, Singapore Symphony Orchestra by 2017. So every time I open my wallet, I will see a name card, and it pushed me towards my dream. So lucky I achieved what I set out to. Yeah.
Congratulations, Wen Rong. Really, that's really good, and that's a really good sharing. Now, how about Ray? How about you? Ray,
You're muted.
You got to turn on the mic. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, like I said, during the introduction, I started playing the trumpet since secondary school. I was from Singing Secondary, and I have to thank Mr. Tan here for the fantastic band program he planned for us. So from there, I developed interest in learning the trumpet and also more about music. So I went on to NAFA after my O levels. Then during my 3 years, I was under the guidance of Mr. David Smith, who is the associate principal trumpet, Ronong's colleague. Then from him, I learned a lot about musicality, tone color, phrasing. Then during these 3 years, also I auditioned for the youth orchestra, which I met Wen Long and later also Eric, and we played quite often together in concerts and stuff. So during NAFA, I actually it sparked me off to understand more about the German culture because back then YouTube they don't really have a lot of videos, and out of sudden I just chanced upon a video from Matthias Huth, who is the lead trumpet of German brass. This guy just blew me off lah. So I went on to research more about Germany, and I was lucky enough to be able to get a seat at one of the university in Denmark. Then I studied with my trumpet professor, Klaus Brecker, who was previously the principal trumpet of the Mannheim Theatre. Yeah, so my 4 years plus over in Germany, I participated in several music festivals, Morrisburg, some foundation orchestra. Then I get to tour around. I also work as an intern and freelance with a professional orchestra there in the opera house. Yeah, so something I find quite valuable over there is to have a very good studio where basically we will organize warm-ups or even practice sessions in the afternoon, any time of the day, morning, night, as and when we are free lah. So we will listen to each other, offer feedbacks, and because basically what I'm hearing behind the bell might not be what's in front. So someone else can give you good feedbacks, and we exchange tips and stuff. So I think that's really valuable to have a very solid and healthy studio. And of course, one of the advantages of studying in Germany is the access to the top orchestras in the world. And also, tickets are not expensive to just travel out. Sometimes the tickets are even free, from the local orchestra in my town. They offer students free tickets. You just go there, you appear, you show a card, and you get to watch concerts for free. A few concerts per week. Yeah. So basically, that's my experience over there.
Hey Ray, you want to share some German trumpets? Hey, I have I want to see no. You want to see no? I have. You wait.
Wow.
Yeah, so what Eric have here is
Very chill, right?
Yeah, B flat rotary trumpet is gold plated, of course, very pretty. Yeah. So maybe I can talk a bit briefly about the difference between rotary and piston. Wen Long did an earlier talk this afternoon with the Roten production, I think.
Rondo.
Sorry.
Rondo.
Roten is a recording company. Yeah. So Wen Long spoke a little bit about the difference. So for piston trumpet, it's a little bit more direct, a little bit brighter, like what Wen Long mentioned just now, like a Superman kind of sound. So for rotary, it's a little bit broader, warmer. It's easier to blend with your horns, and maybe I think also it's easier to blend with timpanis and stuff. But also, one important point is the articulation. Then there are also technical stuff that we can talk about, like resistance and stuff. Maybe we can leave it for next time. Yeah. So,
Fantastic.
yeah.
Fantastic. I think it's really good. I mean, we have Wen Rong who went to Juilliard, and then we have Ray who went to Germany. We have all these experiences shared, and I hope that those people who are listening in right now, all right, you are hearing that they have great experiences when they're overseas, and beside that, beside good German food as well as good American burgers. All right. So next, we're gonna have Kenneth, who is going to share a lot of, because you know that Kenneth, he's everybody, when you see Kenneth, you say, Kenneth, right? Okay, that's it's a very interesting way. Just now, we saw on Facebook Live, Kenneth by Chu Ming, who just talked to you about that, because you know why Kenneth is so everybody knows about him, because he plays in a lot of musical and he plays in a lot of gigs. And I always tell everybody, this wonderful gentleman here, actually, I think he wakes up at 8:30 in the morning and he starts playing his trumpet until maybe around 12 a.m. before he go eat Hai Di Lao. So I think that we leave our dear Kenneth to share a little bit with all of us, okay?
Okay, well, I started out the same way as Wen Wong, coincidentally. When I was in secondary school and I first joined band, I actually wasn't very interested in band. I didn't like band. My parents made me join band. Okay, I wanted to join track and field. Fortunately for me, I didn't because you look at my figure now. I shouldn't be there. But anyway, yeah. So the thing that got me very hooked on trumpet was me hearing this recording of London Symphony playing John Williams' Raiders of the Lost Ark from Indiana Jones, and I heard that and I was like, because prior to that, my exposure to band music was like nothing. I had no band music background whatsoever. So I joined Set One. I thought, what is trumpet? What's all this music stuff? All this. Then I heard trumpets in Indiana Jones, and I was like, wow. So, and that began my love affair with the trumpet that lasted for this many years. I won't say how many lah. Okay, so and then I started really getting interested in film music, film and programmatic music, and I really liked a lot of this of film scores and all this, and I started learning Indiana Jones by myself in Sec One. I just figured out the notes by myself. No one taught me, and I just learned it. So by the end of Sec One, I could play like Indiana Jones and Star Wars from scratch without the notes. And that brought me on to my career in trumpet in later on in my years after graduating into musicals and I play orchestra very frequently as well. I play like lyric orchestra, lyric opera, but I have a very big affinity for Broadway music, film music, programmatic music. I find that it is a challenge and there needs to be a lot of versatility in your style. I think this is the most important point that I'll be talking about for my segment, versatility. You need to, in order to play the trumpet in various settings, you need to adapt to various kinds of playing styles. What are you doing, Ono?
Ono is showing us we're going to do a next exercise. So he's telling you that you're speaking too much about yourself. That's what he's trying to say. Ono, come on, don't do that.
Yeah, so and that therefore I got really into the Broadway music scene, and I got really interested in it, and I've sort of like done a lot of shows. Okay, and my experience in Broadway music is the same every time I do it. It is very fun, it is very rewarding, and it is very tiring, especially on weekends, on Saturday and Sunday when you have to do 2 shows each, 3 hour long each time. It really wears you down. Okay, so what I would like to share about my experience in Broadway music is one thing: stamina, which we'll talk about later also. But you have to learn to pace yourself, and this is something that you will learn also when you're doing just say a dress rehearsal before a concert. You're not going to throw everything you have into the dress rehearsal and play the same concert again 1 hour later. You're not going to do that. You're going to pace yourself, okay, such that you will perform your best for the actual show. This is a very important point. Okay. Now, one of the tips that I had for my shows is drink a lot of water. I always have one very big bottle of water next to me, and I always finish 1 liter bottle during one intermission. If you drink a lot of water, it keeps you hydrated, your lips don't dry out. This, I cannot emphasize enough how important this point is. Keep hydrated. Why else do you do that? Because water retention. The more water you drink, the more water gets into your lip cells. It causes the puffiness in your lips that you get when you wake up in the morning. This is important in getting your lips refreshed again, to puff up the lips. After you keep beating them up for like 3 hours or 1 hour, 1.5 hours or so, and you play a lot on it, they're going to get swollen. They're going to get a mark down there, okay, and they're going to get very, very numb. When you drink water, it helps to relieve that tension in the lips, and it helps to get yourself being able to play again for the second half. So do drink a lot of water. Okay.
Okay, that reminds Ray. You see, there's a mark here now. So you're not drinking enough water. Please remember that, huh? Kenneth Loon just tell you drink water.
Yeah.
Drink Coca-Cola lah.
Huh?
Drink Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
Yeah. So anyway, my main 2 points about my experience as a Broadway player is just be very versatile. There are shows that are very, very classical. I did Evita, and Evita has a lot of classical moments in it. So you have to have a lot of variety. Okay? And there's some shows like Chorus Line, they are like full-fledged, like jazz all the way. And you must know how to adapt to each style. What are the different styles? What do I have to change every time? For example, the style of my vibrato, the style of my articulation, the style of my tone. the entire tone has to become bigger, more brassy for jazz shows, and a lot more compact and refined for classical shows. Versatility is key to being a good player, right? And that's all I wanted to share because we're going to run out of time soon. So I'll pass the ball on to Eric.
Eric, over to you, Eric.
All right. Okay. Well, you all say everything already. What can I say? No, just kidding. Anyway, I just want to share something that I think is very valuable to musicians in general. Okay. So just now someone asked about career advancement, career advice. Okay. I think largely the career advice is based on what your motivation is. So for example, if you are in like more into jazz, of course you will advance yourself towards in the jazz scene. Classical player, orchestra, maybe, right? So, but I think what I want to share is really about my lesson that I learned about my experiences so far that sort of like can probably guarantee you great career advancement. And this is a very important word that I call preparation. So I want to talk about preparation in general. Okay. For example, I give an anecdote of myself that I was actually very honored to be chosen as one of the 5 players in Asia to attend this group called the Asian Youth Orchestra. So during the lead up to that performance, the audition. Okay, there was an audition. I had to play a few pieces. I had to play a few orchestra excerpts. Leading to that, I was already finished with school. Okay. Ironically, in school I didn't get in. I tried 3 times, I didn't get in. And the time I got in was when I finished school. And that time I had more time. I had more time on hand, and a lot of times I had to teach school bands as well, teach sections. After finishing work, around 6 o'clock, finishing dinner, I reach home. I will practice for about an hour or 2 until 10 o'clock. Now this is the best part. I finish. Of course, I stay in HDB. I cannot practice beyond 10 o'clock. And then what I will do is I will drive out to the nearest those kind of place where you park those tanks, those big truck, okay, in the car park. I will drive there and bring my stand and practice until 2 a.m. That whole stretch of a few months preparing for that. So I will take the extra time to practice because I know that during the daytime I was working. I didn't have time for practicing. And I think this is one important thing that people must understand is that you must prepare for whatever things that you are going to go for, because I'm going to share a few of my examples really quickly. And is that there was one time I was studying in Peabody, okay, in America. It was an exchange program, and I had the privilege to study with a Canadian brass member. His name is Mr. Joe Boxfowler. And during that class, I remember he told us to go and listen to an orchestra excerpt, Mahler 5. Okay, everybody should listen to 5 different versions of Mahler 5. Okay, at least 5, and then in the class share with the class your experience of different types of styles they are playing in. There was one person who did not do. Okay, I won't name who. He did not do, and immediately he sent him out of class straight away in front of 17 people in the studio class. So this goes to show that in the professional world, a lot of times you need to be prepared. And I believe Wen Rong has this experience. All of us, we have played together in semi-professional orchestras in Singapore. We have to work with our own parts first before we appear for the first rehearsal. And many times I have seen conductors get a bit off-wired, trying to screw players who have not prepared. So, and even for Wen Rong, I remember this until this very day. There was one time we had a Trumpet gathering. Everybody was at this seafood restaurant, want to eat really, And then Wen Rong didn't come because he had to prepare for his SSO audition. I remember very clearly. Yeah, he couldn't make it because he had to prepare for the audition. And this goes to show a lot about ethics. And I think in general now, as a band conductor, band director, many students now like to sit on their mistakes. They cannot play a certain passage. They wait for you to come and teach them. And to the luxury of some schools, they can afford tutors, yes. Tutors may probably do the job. But for schools that probably cannot afford or for whatever reasons, they don't have any help, okay, there's one conductor to all the 50 or 40 students. I think it's very important to motivate students to be able to have have the ability to learn themselves, and this consistent wanting the hunger to want to be able to manage what they have to play. Okay, so this in a nutshell, this word preparation goes a very long way, and I think it will help everyone to for in any direction. It's the best advice I feel. Thank you.
Fantastic. I think wow, that Eric, thank you. That's sharing great insight about beside being a professional, you also talk about band students, what kind of mentality they need to have, how they need to prepare themselves, for rehearsals and all that. And I think that in conclusion, I think that you can all hear that every single one of the professional here has someone really great in mind before they start embarking on learning a trumpet. I think that is something that I think you're all trying to tell everyone. You need to actually be inspired. You need to have an idol, and you really need to have an objective, and you need to have a goal. Am I right to say that, everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much.
Okay. Now we come to the Q&A. Again, sorry, Wenrong, I didn't.
Best teacher. You are your best teacher.
You are your best teacher. Fantastic. Now, I think that we come to a very important part of this segment, which is the Q&A. We have a lot of people who ask a lot of questions, so we want to address them as well. How to train and keep my lips from leaking air from the sides? So Wenrong is going to show, just now you remember Wenrong shows the straw thing when Kenneth was presenting, yeah?
Actually, I don't have a straw, so I use my thermometer, but also can. You all can take a Yakult straw, okay? If they still sell Yakult straw, you don't have, you just take the normal straw, not the bubble tea straw. Bubble tea straw not for trumpet. So just take the normal straw, then just put it at your lips, say M, and keep it straight. Not M, not Don't roll in your lips. M. Keep it straight and just blow air through the small hole. Okay? And make sure here everything is sealed so that no air can come out. Okay? And don't blow too much air, just 轻轻的. Okay? Relax. Okay. Yeah, that's all.
Just in case some people asking what is 轻轻的 okay, so lightly, okay, lightly, not yeah, okay, all right. So just translate that a little bit.
Still got.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Once you put the Yakult straw in already, right? I don't have Yakult straw, then you can put your mouthpiece through your Yakult straw and take it out and then pass. So most likely that will be the position, because some people too low, too high, but that will be. You can go and try that and let us know what you think first. Put in your mouthpiece and just go.
Okay, so if you are trying and please update us on our Facebook Live comments later, to tell Wenrong how you feel it, how you feel it. Next, we have another question. Someone asked how to increase my endurance and stamina. I mean, I heard this many times in many workshops as well. So maybe one of you can talk about it. Kenneth, you want to talk about this?
Sure. Well, I mentioned earlier about drinking water and keeping your lips fresh again. There are times when you don't have the luxury of that, okay? So my advice to you is play hard and rest well. Play hard, rest well. You have to practice hard, but at the same time, you have to let yourself rest as well. The recovery process is important for the muscle development. Like when you're lifting weights, you can't do it for like 1 hour on end. You lift a while, rest, lift again. It's always in sets. Okay. Now, one exercise that you can do that is something similar to what we were talking about is a pencil exercise. Okay. You take a pen or a pencil, hopefully one that is no rubber at the back. Okay. Let's say like this. There's a plastic end. Okay. So what you do is, this is a pen. It's called the chopsticks. There are various names for this. Okay. But basically you clench your teeth like that. Okay. So you don't put the pen between your teeth. Don't do this. Clench your teeth. Put the pen in front of the teeth. Like this. Okay, then use your lips to hold the pen. And keep it as straight as you can. Now, this seems easy to do until you try to hold the pen there for 2 minutes, or 3 minutes, or 4 minutes. It is a very tiring exercise, so I suggest you don't do this before playing. Do this at the end of the day. If you do this before you play, and then you get so tired that it drops, you can't play anymore. Okay? Hold it there for as long as you can. You will feel everything around here burning. This exercise helps to train the muscles up without pressure. Okay? So I think Eric has some points to talk about this as well. Eric?
I think pretty much you covered it up already. I I think that's a fantastic exercise. First of all, it's just to get to work. You must first work first before you rest. Don't just rest, okay? Which brings me to my next point. I feel that practicing techniques is very important. All right, I would in a general rule of thumb for all instruments, I think pretty much the same. I would rather you practice 30 minutes daily for 5 days, okay, than you practice 3 hours one day. This is a definite answer because what we are doing here. We are training lip muscles. It's like gym lor. Okay, we go to the workout, right? You don't one day and carry 5 hours or 3 hours, and then your muscles are gonna tear. It's not gonna work, right? So you rather work a bit 30 minutes a day, okay, and on and off, which is what Kenneth mentioned. On and off means you work already, you rest. Work already. In fact, resting is where your muscles start to how come I feel like this is a gym session? Okay, no, I'm not a private trainer. But in terms of that, I can apply to the lips as well because it's all muscles, ma. Okay, please let me know if the muscles from the lips are different from any part of the body, lah. But I'm saying that I feel like when I practice for 10 minutes, very intense, I let it go. I feel the muscles are actually recovering, and then I bring it up again. This motion of on and off for period of time consistently will attribute to a very, very big shift in terms of endurance. So there's no shortcut. Like when I ask great players, in fact the best trumpet players in the world, how do you increase your endurance? Actually, they play 10 hours a day, 10 hours a day, non-stop playing because of motivation as well. They like to play on the instrument. So I feel that this is often overlooked with younger players. So please take note of that. Thank you.
Okay, the next question actually say that what are some exercises you will do frequently. I think that for now, later we will put inside the comments, what are exercises, and we will demonstrate on what are exercises. So this is a very, very a very important question that we must address before we end today's session. Because right from the start, someone actually asked, how to play high notes, trumpeters, just now tuba players talking about how to play low notes, trumpeters, how to play high notes. I think high notes is a very important topic before, you must actually talk to them about this because I think this is one of the mystery they would like to know how high can you play, how to play higher, higher. All right, so over to all of you, Ben.
Yeah, fundamental is the most important. After you hit your fundamental, right, your range will automatically improve one. Confirm plus chop.
And guarantee.
Guarantee. Confirm one. Sure improve. Okay. Just high note is not as difficult as low notes lah.
Agree.
Yeah.
Agree.
Kenneth, you want to play some high notes?
Huh?
Let's play some high notes.
No, but one point I just want to add briefly, before we end, before you all write the high notes, I emphasize strongly on not changing embouchure to play a high note. A lot of people, sometimes I play my low notes like this and then I adjust and play my high notes. That can affect your playing in very adversely because you depend on two different embouchures to play. I must caution very carefully. My personal take on high notes is build from low, like Wen was saying. Your fundamentals are good, you build from there, you build to the high notes. Everything is built up from a strong foundation. One good exercise.
Yeah. Kenneth, you say?
Go ahead.
Okay. But one exercise, right, is arpeggio slowly go up lah. Just fingering. Then slowly go up, build from low.
Okay, actually that is a similar exercise to what I do with students. I do this thing called stacking slurs. You can try it. Basically, you start from low C and you build up. You add one slur each time, keeping the slur consistent. I'll just very quickly demonstrate it. So I start on a low C. I get to C to C to the E to the G to the high B flat C to high C, and D and then E and F and N on a G. It's basically building up from, but you notice I'll always go back down to low and go up again. It's very important to start from a foundation and build up. Like a skyscraper, you can only build as high as you can make the foundation solid. Okay? And this exercise I normally get students to do in one breath. Of course, you don't have to go all the way to the high G like what I did, but you can build up from there, but don't change embouchure anywhere halfway.
Okay, I think with that we have to end. I think that one important thing that we all understand that everybody wants to play a higher note and higher note in the trumpet. As a trumpet player, Anchun actually in fact said that I practice very hard. I still cannot play those high notes. And there are a lot of these people who is always talking about that. I think that you can take one whole day to talk about how to play high notes. All right. On that note, I think we would like to thank everybody that's here in this room with us. Wen Rong, Ray, Ken, Kenneth, and Eric. Thank you very much, and we look forward to the next session if we have one next session together. All right, for the trumpets, and then you can share even more high notes with us. All right. So today, online with pros, the trumpeters, are organized by the Band Directors Association. Thank you. Bye bye, everybody.
Bye.